In this video, we're going to be looking at the raised garden bed tours in the Bowtie Gardens. We have lots of things growing, some things already getting harvested, so stick around. Hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. And I'm Bowtie David. We live in Destin, Florida, Zone 9B, and that's the panhandle of Florida. We are in Central Time, but coming up in the near future, one of the next videos coming out, we're going to talk about breaking up mint, which is a very prolific plant. It's very easy to break up mint, and we're going to do that with our friend, cousin Bowtie Mark, as we're going to be equipping him for some squirrel repellent. So be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube. It's free to do so, and stay caught up with everything going on in the garden. And for those of you who have subscribed, I want to thank you personally. You've really made Bowtie Life what it is today, and I thank you. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So as we get started on this new garden tour for June of 2024, about the middle of the month. I think today is June 16th, and some of this was recorded yesterday, some of it's recorded today, but I got a new phone. My nothing related to the growth of the channel or anything, but I had a very old phone and it decided to turn itself into a brick, and I ended up getting a brand new phone with a brand new plan, which is first time that's happened to Mrs. Bowtie and I for 14 years. We've been on the same phone plan, so we're trying out a new camera to see if this works, see if the quality is any better, and see if we can do create a better content on our channel. Speaking of the growth of the channel, we did recently break 1,000 subscribers, which is one of the two things that have to be done to get the channel monetized. Now, monetized means, and you see those ads that pop up. When we're not monetized, we don't get any of that. But once we get monetized, we get about half of the income from those ads. And this 1,000 subscribers was the first step to that. The second step is to get our watch hours up. And we've still got a ways to do on that, but we're getting there. It is growing. I do want to mention the weather. In fact, today it is supposed to rain. We'll see if that actually happens. I suspect it probably won't. It's only about a 50% chance, but who knows? Maybe we'll be dodging some rain clouds before the day is over. We got a female cardinal over there. Oh, she's gonna fly right past. Did you see that? She just flew right past and showed herself. But we have cardinals here. We have thrashers. We have all kinds of songbirds in here. It's just awesome. It's an awesome garden. I enjoy it. We did finally. Now here's the thing, folks. Everybody says, oh, Destin, Florida, we've hit 90s. We've been in the 90s all along. Well, maybe that feels like. But here's the thing. When you just look on your app, you're looking at the temperature on the weather station across the bay. Now, they've already had mid-90s. It's been pretty hot over there. Once the wind comes across the bay, it gets cooled down, and we don't get quite as hot here in Destin. We have a real Destin bubble in the weather, and so it's a little bit different weather pattern over here. And we did finally, today is the second or third day, I think it's the third day that we've actually hit 90s, and I think it's going to rain, so hopefully that'll bring the temperatures back down. But I know some of y'all have been getting in the hundreds already, and I do not envy you. This is the first year I've got all my shade cloths up, and I'm so excited. I'll show you a little bit of that as we go along here. I'm so excited about what we got up, and I think it's really working. In fact, you can tell by the size on some of these leaves. These cucumber leaves are huge. We'll get into that in just a second. Also, this was kind of cool. In fact, it was just this morning. We were getting ready to go to church, and I was doing my morning checkup in the garden. I think I had to fix an irrigation head. And I was coming back in, and I found our biggest turtle. We have a few turtles that live here, but this big turtle, I run into him every once in a while, and he crawls around. He lives over there close to the blueberry patch, and sometimes in the blueberry patch, and right now he's getting a lot of dropped berries, in the blueberry patch. I'm hoping. In fact, speaking of blueberries, you know, we've got all kinds of harvests. We've got the blackberry harvest coming just right down over here. We've been doing the blueberries, as I just mentioned. The loofah. We had in the outdoor garden bed tour, we talked about the loofah, which is just going crazy. It is just right now going crazy. We had potatoes, which you just had the first video come out. Okay, potatoes, folks. I was thinking that it was to be harvested, it's Yukon Gold, 65 to 70 days. Now, it says it's ready to harvest in 65 to 70 days. I went and did a little research, and I think that we're going to be able to wait maybe a month. It's going to be a few weeks until I harvest, and I'll talk more about the potatoes when we get around there. I'm looking at my list down. Oh, the watermelon. Of course, if you looked at the outer garden bed tour, the last part 2 of 3, you saw the watermelon, the corn, pomegranates. Hopefully that corn is coming up. Okay, in the raised beds, we also have, we talked about like 6 thick crops that we're harvesting elsewhere. In the raised beds, we're harvesting cucumbers already. Can you believe it? We're harvesting Everglades tomatoes already. They are just starting to produce. And of course, we have chili peppers, hot stuff that is my favorite. And Mrs. Bowtie likes some of it too. But we got all kinds of stuff already growing off in here. The goji berries are producing. The goji berry out here is producing. And we'll take a look at all of that as we get around this garden tour. All that being said, let's get right onto it. So the GreenStalk, it has been a very good tool. I need to come up with a new plan for it though. I do have some strawberries in here. We have some old, this is broccoli. There is a couple of kale down there, which the kale didn't grow as big. In fact, I wonder how tasty it is. I haven't even tried this yet. Okay, that's kind of old. But anyway, we'll be coming up with a new plan for this here in the next month or two as we pass the hottest part of the year and enter into the cooler season. And that, of course, brings us to bed number 1. And look at the cucumbers. Now, I've talked about the shade cloth up here. I have a 50% shade cloth over this next section. There's actually 2 sections here. One section here and another section over there. Now that far section does not have shade cloth, and you'll see why once we get down there. But right now in the cucumbers, these leaves are enormous. They are just soaking up the sun and starting to grow its fruit. We've picked 1 decent cucumber off this so far, and you can see we have female buds. Now this one's already hopefully pollinated. We do have bees here, but not like we did when we actually had a box. So male and female flowers, and I talk about this every time. You can see here in this flower there is a little cucumber on the stem below the flower. That's the female flower. Over here you can see there's a flower with just a stem underneath it. That's the male flower. The bee brings the pollen from over there to over here and makes the cucumber. Now we are without a bee box right now. I know one is coming. It's just going to be a matter of nature and when it provides. Oh, there's a cucumber. Looky there. There's a cucumber on the other side. It's already been eaten into a little bit. I'll let that grow and we'll see what we can get out of it. That's a little disappointing. I did pull a couple of little tiny ones off the bottom that were just completely riddled. And they're starting early, but the cucumbers are looking strong. They're starting to head up over the top here, and in fact, you can see there's one little tendril coming up through the shade cloth. I just need to pull that out and redirect it over there. It's very easy. So, yeah, cucumbers. Next thing, of course, we have a lot of zinnias all through the raised beds. All the zinnias in here are the giant zinnias from my neighbor and friend, Jack and Anna. They gave me a big bag of seeds, and I'm going to return the favor. And when I collect seeds, I'm going to give them some of their own seeds back that are climatized to our area. I also need to give them back some of the seeds they gave me because they gave me way too many. But you can see there's different colors. There's double ones. You'll see double zinnias in here. Occasionally, I want to start accentuating those double zinnias. These are regular zinnias, you can tell, because there's just like a single row of petals going around here. That's it. The next thing here is the ginger. Now, the ginger, we have a lot of it. That's these plants right here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that one's growing 2 stems already. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's at least 13 in here. I don't remember how many I planted, but there's a lot of ginger coming up. These broader leaf plants, that's turmeric. And that thing, I've never had a turmeric that big. And now ginger and turmeric are understory plants, which means they grow under, in their natural habitat, they grow under things. And so these are actually growing under the shade cloth. So they're really loving life this way. I'm very pleased with how big these underneath the shade cloth. And you'll notice as we get down here, they're a little bit smaller. So I'm kind of curious to see how this develops, but you'll notice there's a whole lot of turmeric coming up everywhere. Remember back in the beginning of this, I said ginger comes up slow, turmeric takes forever, and the turmeric is all coming up. It's looking strong. There's even a turmeric down here in the middle of this zinnia, and I may have to trim that zinnia back or move it. Just reposition the stems. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. But ginger and turmeric is growing so strong. So past the ginger and turmeric, we have more zinnias, and above that we have our blackberries still. Now I got to tell you, we had 4 people come 2 Sundays ago, and then 10 people here last Saturday picking berries, and we still have an absolute ton of blackberries. I have hopefully have a couple friends coming today to help finish those off, but the blackberries are still just prolific. They need to be picked, and to get that mosquito off my arm. But yeah, so past the zinnias and blackberries, we have our okra, and we've had a couple of questions. How's the okra doing? And if I back up here, now this area, okra loves sun. So you'll notice there's no shade cloth in this section here. The okra eats up this sun. Now the berries over there, they're okay because they grow here in the spring, and they're petering out now. So the sun really will not matter too much with them. And so this area over here with no shade cloth is going to just make this okra thrive. And you can see in the middle, the Seed Savers Exchange seeds from 3 years ago are looking fantastic. Now the older MI Gardener seeds, and this is not MI Gardeners, these are like 5-year-old seeds, folks. And I just heard yesterday they like to guarantee their seeds for a couple years, and that's reasonable. And the fact that this is not growing after 5 years, actually the fact that some of them grew after 5 years, I am very pleased. So gotta get those seeds. The only seeds that are guaranteed not to grow are the ones you don't plant. So yeah, be sure to plant your seeds and find a place. Get a pot if you have no space. You don't have to have a ton of space. Just find some soil. So yeah, these are looking great. You'll notice I've started to feed them through the netting here to hold it up and keep it going. As they continue to grow, I'll start just feeding them up through there, and this actually could probably come down a little bit. I think I probably should put a cable tie around that to hold that in place, but once everything goes through here, it'll work. Now what happens here, as these things get tall, they get a little spindly, and a wind will actually lay them down. And so this, what is this, 2 feet off them, maybe 2.5 feet off the ground, not quite a meter, maybe 80 centimeters off the ground. It is enough to give it the support that we need. Now these things get 12 feet tall, so they will be going past my cross piece up here. That's actually at 8 feet, so normal ceiling height. So kind of give you an idea of how tall these get. As we get to the end of the season, I'll be having a ladder out here all the time so I can harvest But these okra, I don't see any flowers. In fact, I've been out here watching for flowers, but I haven't seen any yet. Looky there. As soon as I said that, sure enough, there it is. So we are just getting buds off of here right now. That's exciting. That's very exciting. We love our okra. Oh, yeah. And so past the okra, here we go in. Oh, my Brussels sprouts. Yeah, this is saddening. I'm sure I got them in late. They were looking like they might have developed, but the heat got to them. And you can see this is where the Brussels sprouts develop. Oh, it is just tough as anything. And so it succumbed to the heat, and it is no more. So that was my one promising Brussels sprout plant. In fact, you can see how massive the stem was down here, but it is just entirely rotting away now. Very sad about that. And of course, the broccoli that I haven't done anything with, I'm just using them as a cover for the ground to keep too many weeds from coming up, though I am noticing we are getting these ivies growing up everywhere, and as I've said several times, we are going to have to go to war on the ivies. There are these really prickery things. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is prickery. I don't know what to do about, well, I know what to do. It's easy to pull up, but you can see how many thorns there are on all of that. It's a little disconcerting. So that's broccoli over there, which has gone to seed. Y'all might have seen we collected a lot of seed from those, more of those thorny. Oh man, I thought I pulled all these out. I forgot about this bed. There's a bunch of them in here. And the blackberries. So yeah, I already mentioned the blackberries from the other side. The blackberries are crazy. Birds are getting them now. We're good with it. I'm good with that. So yeah, it's life. And I do want to show the bee box. This bee box, the solitary bee box, nothing is happening here right now. In fact, everything has been opened up. All the tubes, even that one right there, has opened up, and anything that might have been in there is out. Of course, you can see the shade cloth across here that we added this year, and I'm very excited about that because we'll talk about we already mentioned the potatoes. Before we get onto that next bed, the peach tree. No change. It's just growing. Yeah. Not peach. Pear tree. This thing is not going to survive, I'm pretty sure. Of course, bed number 2, we have our Dino Kale. We have a couple plants of Dino Kale. That one there still has not bolted. This one looks like it's getting ready to. This one here is well on the way to bolting and producing its flower head, and I want to collect seeds this year. But, in fact, let's see how these leaves taste. Oh, actually those don't taste too terrible. That's kind of nice. A little bit astringent or a little bit of a rough flavor. But anyway, these were planted last fall. We've gotten a lot of kale off of these, as much as we wanted. Right next to it, of course, is the cucumber arbor, and it goes over to the other side at the beginning of bed number 1. This side has not produced any cucumbers that I've picked yet, but I do just now see there is one down here, and I can see that it already has a hole eaten right through it, right there. See that? So something's already eating into it. It's kind of a low hole in the fruit, so it's probably not going to develop much. But these things are kind of just getting developed, growing. They are under the shade cloth. I'm hoping they do better there. They seem to be so far. We'll see. The zinnias, of course, and I was talking about single zinnias and double zinnias earlier. So I talked about a single, has one row of petals around. See, this one has one row of petals around. If I go under here and look at this little flower right here, you see it's all petals. That's a double zinnia. Got a regular zinnia and a double zinnia. Now, the color on this was beautiful. I actually picked a few of these from Mrs. Bowtie's little bud vase. Oh, here's a beautiful one up here. Now, the thing about zinnias, of course, when they get picked, in fact, let's take this plant right here. This plant was growing out here. I picked the flower that was growing here. Already 2 other stems are replacing the one I cut down. Every time you cut, it's going to be replaced by 1 or 2. And now you can see there's a bud right here. And if I follow it around, you can see right down here, it's actually just starting a stem. Now that really won't develop. This will grow, develop the bud, make a flower. I'll cut it off right here. Then this one and probably this one right here will replace the top that I cut off of this. So you keep doing that. Now, on the other side, if you forget to cut one off or one gets past you and it, like this one here folded over, this bud is going to die. And so as it's dying, it's going to have seeds. These are all seeds inside here. And I'll just take those seeds and spread them around the bed, grow more. And that's just all there is to zinnias. The neat thing is, so we have a row of chili peppers here and a bean wall we'll talk about in a second. But look there, there's a zinnia growing there. They're growing kind of down between here. All between there. So I'm just kind of letting the zinnias go. One of the reasons why I do this is it is good confusing for pests that might affect my plants that are important to me. It also brings in the bees. It also brings in beneficial insects that help in the garden as well. So I got a lot of workers here, and those zinnias are doing a lot of good work. So on the inside of this bed number 2 and all through the middle, we have a row of peppers. Now, all but one of these peppers were dug up last year, cut back, and overwintered in the Florida room. For the first time, I've successfully done it. I think I finally figured it out. But we have here, these are Peppadew, which is kind of a mild hot, but the flavor is amazing on these. They will turn red, of course, but this is going to produce all year long. All summer. This thing will be producing into November or December, depending on the weather. Another Peppadew. Now this one here, notice the peppers are pointing upwards. In fact, you can see on that one right there, it's pointing upwards. That is a tie hot. Tie hots will point upwards when they're on the plant. You can see here, they're pointing upwards. But if I go 2 plants over to here, you'll see that these are kind of hanging down. In fact, let me get underneath here. You can see these peppers are hanging down. These are my dragon cayenne. The pepper looks exactly the same, but it is, it's a dragon cayenne. So yeah, I'm gonna get that grass out of the way right there. Now you can see it. Okay, love the dragon. So we have 2 dragon cayenne plants. There's another Peppadew right here. Oh, these things are producing. I love these things. And I just pull a few weeds. Most mornings I'll come out, pull a few weeds, knock off the dirt. I can see this thing right here is a bad weed. Get that thing out. It is getting a little big. So we're going to take that out. I just drop them on the ground. They dry out, blow away. Now here in the row also I have a giant jalapeno. There's one on there. In fact, I picked a huge one for cousin Bowtie Mark, and he took one of these, the biggest one that was on here. We actually picked a whole bunch off of here, a couple pounds off this plant and some of the other jalapeno plants for jalapeno poppers, which Mrs. Bowtie makes, and they were delicious. Oh, and a couple more Peppadew plants. Now this one here, look at all the Peppadew in here. They're just growing prolifically, and these things will start changing color, turning red, looking beautiful, and they are delish. And so, with that being said, I'm going to just walk around to the other side, just to the other side of this bed, and we're going to look at this bean wall. So this bean wall gets thick. It is really kind of just getting going. Oh, looky here. I see a zinnia that's practically ready to be broken apart, and it's a double. I want to get more of these doubles in the garden. And so whenever I see a double zinnia that's dying like this, you pop it off, and I want to show you here. You look on the inside here, and those are all the seeds. And you just take those seeds and spread them out, and they will grow more zinnias. And I'm going to just grind this down to the seeds, spread it out. They'll dry some, they'll get wet some will get eaten by birds, but there are so many seeds in there, it won't really matter. So hopefully we'll have another row of pretty double zinnias growing in here. But the beans, back to the beans. Yeah, so these beans have not started flowering yet, which I'm waiting. In fact, I keep looking for buds on them, and I just am not seeing any buds coming out yet. Now, I have seen bees flying around these, but no buds yet. Not sure why. Oh, is that a bud? No, that's not a bud. Not sure why I don't have any buds yet, but I'm not worried about it. These things, once they get going, they will be producing. These are the Blue Lake stringless pole beans. And yeah, I pull off these diseased leaves as I see them. Every once in a while I come in and pull a handful off and I toss them out here on the path. But they are beautiful though. They're thick. Oh yeah. Give us a little privacy. Mrs. Bowtie likes to sit out on the furniture over there in the sun, and kind of gives her some privacy for her sitting out. Now, let's talk about these potatoes. Some of these potatoes are looking really, like this one here, they're all dead. I need to harvest that bag. I will be harvesting that. Now, we just did that 64-day harvest yesterday, and it was underwhelming to say the least. Two of these bags, I should have looked careful. These two bags here, they really look bad. I should have harvested those instead. Some of these still have leaves growing out of them, and I'm kind of letting them go a bit longer. I wish I could get another 30 days. If I hadn't turned off the irrigation, I bet I could, but I had turned off the irrigation on these. I don't know what my plan's going to be. We're going to call this a year of education on these potatoes, because I'm intending to learn something here. Okay, coming around past the bean wall. In fact, you can see here's a bean that has invaded the this is another cattle panel that's out here for the Everglades tomato. And now last year, this Everglades tomato is so prolific, it actually grew into the beans and pushed back the beans. I don't think the beans can push back this tomato plant. It is such a prolific grower. We've already gotten tons of tomatoes off this, a few pounds. And, ooh, what is this? I don't know. I'm pulling that. Oop, I broke it. You gotta really pull it down here from the bottom. Oh, it broke again. What on earth is this? Oh, it's a Biden's Alba. I can tell by the base. I did not get it. Okay. I'll get it on the next go around, because that thing will grow again. So these Everglades tomatoes, they grow in our Florida heat. They do really good. However, I do have a lot of dying in here. Interestingly enough, it died on that side over there, and my shade cloth ends right there. So me and Mark were looking at this, wondering if maybe the sun was shining on that and it kind of did it some damage and gave it some challenge. I don't know. But these Everglades tomatoes, they're little tiny. Yes, they are little tiny. Let me grab one right here. You see how small they are, and they are full of flavor. Very juicy. Now, some people will say you can't make sauce out of these. Tell you what, this next year I'm going to show you the process I went through last year a little bit better. We took these, we froze them, we thawed them, we separated the water, and oh my goodness, they have so much flavor. Oh my goodness, these things make delicious sauce. I mean, just explosive sauce. I love it. Mrs. Bowtie and I both like strong flavors. Now, I don't know what that is down there. I'm presuming that it is an Everglades, especially by the fact that it's already producing flowers. The other one that it could have been would be the supersweet 100 over on the other side, but they are not creating flowers yet. So we probably have another couple of Everglades in here. There's one here. There's a big one down here, which I should just redirect into this cattle panel trellis and see if we can get it to fill in this bare end of the cattle panel trellis. With my trips and all here past bed 2, the aloe patch has not been cared for. I do need to get in here and take care of some of the weeds. Even the hot peppers over here have got a lot of weeds, and I just need to come in here and clean them out. I do have a plan for this. I have had this bed. This is my 3rd growing season. You'll notice how low it's getting. It's down about a foot, maybe a little more in some places. And that's because I'm got pure horse muck compost in here. and it sinks a lot because it's not a lot of structure. And so anyway, this is the hot pepper bed, and got a lot of weeds. Next year I am going to be overwintering any peppers that survive here, and we will refill this bed completely, and in the spring plant the pepper plants back outside, which means we won't have our low tunnel in here. We've had this low tunnel 2 winters in a row. It's been very successful, but we will not need it this next winter, so I'm not going to have to worry about it. In fact, around here, this is actually the 8-foot cattle panels that I use to create that low tunnel on these peppers, but won't do it this next year. We do already have Tabascos coming out. This I can't believe. This was overwintered, and it's already starting to put out Tabascos. It's growing. This here I'm pretty sure is Scotch bonnet. No. Is that Fatale? I think that's probably a Fatale. Nothing coming on it yet. I'm pretty sure it's not Scotch bonnet, because look at the Scotch bonnets already. They're already growing. And in case you don't know, Scotch bonnet is the Jamaican pepper, Jamaican spice pepper. There's a lot of them in there, and we've actually already picked a number of them. In fact, if I come around here, you can see, I spy with my little eye some yellow. Looky there. Oh, there's a few of them down there. These are yellow Scotch bonnet peppers. They come in red also. I'm not sure what else they come in, but they do come in a few different colors. And I actually gave a friend some of these. He loves the Scotch bonnet at church, and I've got another friend that might be in need pretty soon. So yeah, I'm just reaching down here. I'm spotting these yellow things. So there's another 6 Scotch bonnet. Look at that. And there's a whole bunch on. Now, peppers, you can harvest at any time. The longer you leave them on, the hotter they get. They also change the flavor a little bit. These things I think they get better flavor as they get more ripe, like these are. And so, yeah, they're beautiful. That's more the color that they will be when they're completely ripe. This bright, bright orange. You can see it's kind of almost a yellowish into a bright orange. It'll get this bright orange. There's a jalapeno plant down here, which I just noticed. Now this is jalapeno traveler. It's always grown a little smaller for me. In fact, it always grows like that, versus the Mammoth, which grows huge. We got another Mammoth down here. It's got more jalapenos. There's another. Let's see. There's 2 Scotch bonnets in here. And just in case you're wondering, yeah, we just did get an alert for thunder, lightning nearby, but I didn't hear anything. If you heard something, let me know. Another jalapeno traveler. Now you can see this one here. These are actually getting where to go. Up, up, up. Wait, I've got to zoom back out to find it. I can't find it. There they are. Right there. See that right there? I'm playing with the zoom on my new camera. There they are. Okay. That's the zoom on my new camera. But yeah, you can see both of those jalapenos right there. They're still green. Still kind of, developing. And we'll let them develop. Over here, I'm not sure what this is, but it's starting to develop something. I think that might be a peri-peri. Now, peri-peri will come out kind of like this. And it's a pretty hot pepper. I think it's hotter than cayenne, but it's good. It's a good pepper. In fact, Mrs. Bowtie's favorite sauce is a peri-peri sauce. Oh, look at the lizard right there. See if I can zoom in on him. Whee! Okay. That's kind of cool, huh? There he goes. They chase the little bugs. In fact, I will throw them when I'm digging around the garden. I will toss beetles over to them and they'll jump on them. They love beetles. Anyway, so coming around here, I do not know what that is. I see a tag down here though. Is this one of the new ones I planted? No, it is not. I don't know what this pepper is. No clue. I did put in a few new peppers here. This one here, it doesn't look too great. It's another Tabasco. We'll have to see if that survives. It doesn't look very good. This one over here, there's a new one. Oh, right here. Jalapeno. That's a jalapeno chili. I don't know what that's going to develop into. I think I got another jalapeno chili in here. Maybe over here. Oh, and here's that other Mammoth jalapeno. Now it's got some jalapeno. Oh, these are starting to turn. Look at this guy. Woo! That's a big one. Beautiful jalapenos on there. That thing's starting to change colors. So maybe we will get some more jalapenos here pretty soon. Which one is this? This one here. Oh, another Scotch bonnet down here on the far end. And I have to, let me go around and see. I'm going to go to the other side and see what that is. Well, whatever. Oh, there's another jalapeno. Looks like it didn't make it. Okay, something must have gotten it. Oh well, that's fine. We've got a few jalapenos in here. That's disappointing. So, I said that was my last chance for the Brussels sprouts. Well, these are also Brussels sprouts down here. One there and one here. I need to clean out around them. They still look okay, mainly because they're in the shade of this pomegranate tree. And so they still have a little protection over here. And we'll just have to see if they develop. I know I got to clear this out. I do want to show you. Some of you who follow along may remember underneath this mess, I found a garlic that didn't get harvested and it started sprouting. And I've pulled up a couple of the sprouts somewhere down here. In fact, let's pull one up right here. Oh, there's a big one. There's a little patch of about 20 little tiny garlics because they're all developing right next to each other. I'm having a hard time pulling this thing out. There. What do you think? I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to have flavor. I got one other one inside. We'll figure out what we're doing with that. But yeah, those are developing. I don't know what those are. What is this? There's a plant of some kind developing little seed pods. Not sure I want that to develop. See now, chaos gardening here is kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to talk more about that. I let a lot of stuff go in here. There's actually radishes in here. This is a radish. And they're growing really slow, probably because they're all crowded out. I don't know if they're going to develop or not. But I'm hoping that the leaves from the radish will actually attract other pests, other beneficials, maybe. I don't know. I'm learning, like I said. Okay, so next, past the Brussels sprouts and that one garlic that's sitting down there. Whew, day's getting long. Wind's starting to blow. The temperature's actually dropped a couple degrees, and the mosquitoes are out. Oh my goodness, the mosquitoes are out. I have got to get that citronella going. Okay, so here on the trellis we have supersweet 100, which are vining. They're indeterminate. They will go all the way over this trellis, and they will actually meet up at the top with these three supersweet 100 tomato plants that are already, you can see they're tied up. I got little strings on them already, and they're kind of guided up to go up here, and I got to tie a little bit more on there obviously, but we're going to keep these things trained on this trellis. This is a supersweet 100 trellis. Back in the back here we have four tomatoes, and these tomatoes are Nebraska wedding tomatoes, and they're just kind of sitting out there. I've grown these before. They've never been great, but the flavor is amazing. It is a yellow, almost like a Roma tomato. A lot of meat, very flavorful. We love making BLTs with them. They're delicious. They're so good, but obviously they're just developing, and we have them on these small pepper cages and all. So I got a little lizard, I love the little lizards. These things are awesome. They don't seem to mind me. They really don't. In fact, when I start digging, they will actually come to see what I'm doing, and then I'll throw them some beetles. Some of them know that, and they will swoop in. And I mean, if I throw in a beetle, it barely hits the ground, and they will jump on it. They come around the end here, and so yeah, let's take a look at these goji berries. Goji berries look a little bit lame because I did not clean them out this year. They have a lot of dead in here, and I should have gotten in here and trimmed them out, and they've kind of choked themselves out. I hope we can revive these for next year. The goji berry, in fact, comment below if you grow goji berries or like goji berries in your smoothies. They grow, it looks like a tiny pepper. That's a very small, they grow 3 or 4 times bigger than that, but they look like a pepper, but they taste like a tomato. And they have a very interesting flavor. It's kind of known as the fountain of youth for the Asian cultures in the world. So, let me know in the comments if you've had any experience with gojis. I kind of let this one go this year. I just failed to get it done. Too busy, you know? That chaos gardening. I see there's a tree growing up right there I need to get out of there. But, yeah, so I always like hearing from you, your experiences, your questions in the comments. If I can answer, I will. I might refer you to another video from another channel. I will help if I can. It's one of my biggest things. Be sure to click like on this video. We are growing. We just crossed the, like I mentioned at the beginning, we just crossed the 1,000 subscriber point, and so we're continuing to grow. We're continuing to make Bowtie life more of what I'm hoping it will be one day. And so be sure to subscribe, hit thumbs up. Remember, subscribing is free, so you can show support for the channel by subscribing and watching the videos, and I do appreciate it. We got mosquitoes coming out, the weather's getting cooler. My goodness, I still don't think it's going to rain, but it might surprise me. We'll have to see. But yeah, so that's it. Thanks for joining. Y'all have a blessed day.